Well, you guys hit the like goal last video, even if it was only 10 likes. It made me really happy. So I just want to thank all you guys for that. And it also made it really clear that you guys want to know the lore of Fear and Hunger Termina. So I am not at all going to waste your time. Let's go ahead and talk about the... So, I'm going to start off the lore by talking a little bit about the gods of Fear and Hunger. And let's just start off with the main poster boy god of Fear and Hunger, our boy. Rare is the trickster moon god of Fear and Hunger, and he's the main reason why many events in the game take place. He isn't just a trickster god, though. He is also the god of truth, which I know may seem ironic at first, but the reason that he's the god of truth is that all that is hidden in darkness is revealed in moonlight, so it really makes sense if you think about it like that. And he is the main reason why practically all or most of the events in Fear and Hunger Termina take place. And I'll talk about his role and all that later, but this is just a basic rundown of him. There are also a couple other gods, like Almir, Grogoroth, or Sylvian. They are all old gods, but I don't want to get too deep into that right now, unless we have to later. So all you need to know right now is that they are old gods, and practically all of them have already left, and any remnant of the old gods is just a trace of what they were. Now for the other main important god, other than Rare, in the game, there is the god of Fear and Hunger. And the god of Fear and Hunger has driven humanity's progression to where it currently is in game, and the game takes place in a World War II setting. And it's pushed them that far using humanity's fears and its hunger to advance. Now though, we would talk about the events of the game that take place before it happens. So, let's talk about what happened before the events of Fear and Hunger Termina. Okay, so prior to the events of Termina is the first game, which is just called Fear and Hunger, and a simple rundown of the first game and the contents that are related to the main game is that a little girl who is important inside the first game is changed into the god of Fear and Hunger, which I already said led humanity to where it is. And in the second very, very important character to Fear and Hunger Termina is a character called Lagarde. And he is very important to Termina because in the first game, he ascended becoming a new god. And his goal was to unite humanity into a golden age. And right before the events of Termina takes place, Lagarde has taken over a lot of Europe and he's come to power and is now known as the Kaiser. And he leads the Bremen army. Keep all of that in mind. And then, as the Kaiser, he starts a war that's like World War II in our world. But after taking the town of Prehevel, where the events of Fear and Hunger Termina take place, he calls for peace and he ends the war. And we'll talk way more about why he stops at Prehevel later. But I think it's now time that we talk about So, we're finally at what happens in the main game, where you and other contestants have to fight to death in a battle royale. Like Fortnite? No, not like Fortnite, Mikey. If you're watching this one goes out specifically to Mikey. But, back to business. The whole festival is devised by Rare and acted out by a servant named Percolé. We'll talk a lot more about Percolé later. And by the way, Rare is the guy we talked about a minute ago, if you don't remember already. And your main objective in the game is to go around killing everyone. But you know how Rare is also the god of truth and all is revealed in moonlight? Well, the Termina Festival has revealed the true forms of many people in the town, and they typically aren't too pretty. And the way he changes them is a process called moon scorching, in which he'll change them into what he thinks they really are. But now that we have the basics of what the Festival of Termina is, let's talk about the character and lore connections. Now, let's just do a quick rundown of some of the important contestants who participate in the Termina Festival and their lore. And let's start off with August. Now, August won't often be seen in the game by the player, but he is in Prehevel to kill the Kaiser. That's just basic rundown of August. The next character we'll focus on is Marina, who is the daughter of the main Dark Priest in the city of Prehevel. And the Dark Priests worship the old gods, but their lives are grueling, and the trials to become a Dark Priest are incredibly grueling. And Marina was actually born male, so her mother concealed her identity to protect her and sent her to the Vatican to learn occultism. But that also leads into our next contestant, Saint-Marie. And Saint-Marie was a classmate of Maria in the Vatican, and Saint-Marie is deeply in love with Maria and stalks Maria. She even killed Maria's father because Maria said that she hated him. But that's just basic Saint-Marie. Next contestant is Dan, whose parents were part of a cult of Sylvian, which is one of the old gods I mentioned in passing earlier. But she is the god of fertility. And in the game, he learns some of Sylvian's healing powers, but abruptly his parents died. But he found himself as a butler for a baron, where he met his wife. After that, he became a doctor and served in the front lines of the war with the Kaiser. Now, though, after he returned, he found his wife and father and mother-in-law dead, sacrificed in an occult ritual, which led him to Prehevel looking for answers. And this is where he finds out his wife has become an enemy called Stitches, which is a member of the Sulfur Cult. We'll deal with the Sulfur Cult later too. And his father-in-law has become an enemy called Needles, who will stalk the player throughout most of the game, so that's fun. And the final, lore-relevant character is Olivia, who lived in a religious household with her sister, who was a complete opposite of her. And Olivia thought that her sister was better than her in every regard, until one day, her sister was taken by the Bremen Empire, and they did something to her. And what they did to her sister was make her the machine god is what the Kaiser was trying to create in Prehevel, and it's what became of Olivia's sister. Logic, which is the machine god, was created to usher humanity into a golden age and create a paradise by making it an electronic hive mind which would control communication and information to shape global consciousness and bring about a new global order. That's logic just very basically summed up, but I think it's about time we talk about the Sulfur Cult. So, let's get into that. The Sulfur Cult worships the Sulfur God, and the Sulfur God is the hate-filled parts of Almir, who is one of the gods I glanced over earlier. It is the hateful parts of Almir that were cast into the sulfur pits. Now, remember how the festival is rare the old god's doing? I lied to you. It's only traces of rare, with the real orchestrator being Perkele, who is a servant of the sulfur god. And the reason for the festival is to get the sulfur god new fresh souls and maybe use the winner as a candidate to become a member of the Sulfur Cult. That's just a very basic look in the Sulfur Cult, and all this is just a basic rundown of the lore. If you want more in-depth lore stuff, go watch another video. There's a lot of much longer ones, but I just want to tell you the basics of the lore to get you running. But thank you for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please subscribe. Maybe leave a cheeky like and a cheeky comment. And let's move to the outro song. Hey everybody, this is my outro song. I hope that you do sing along. I'm the Moth Maker, and I make content. Please give me money. I need money. Please subscribe. I don't have a dime. I have really, really bad rhymes. Please subscribe. This is the outro song. The outro song. The outro song. This is the Moth Maker outro song. Please subscribe. I don't have a dime. If you give me a little bit of your time, maybe subscribe and give me a dime. A dime, a dime, a dime, a rhyme. I got bars from Mars. Girls go to Jupiter to get more stupider. Boys go to Mars to get more bars. That's what I'm saying. My name's not Lars. My name is Mothmaker, and I take time to make these videos, and I spit bars, rhymes, and hymes, and lots of things. So please subscribe and have a good time. Bye.